The pain that I experienced, I never expected it. My people. It got to a point, the contraction came, like it was like she was coming out already. And I'm like, is it okay for me to push? My people, I am here again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Adora Igunma-Ogunyomi. And on my YouTube channel, we're going to be talking about lifestyle. We're going to be talking about motherhood, my own journey to motherhood. And we're going to be having some vlogs as well. And on this channel, I have a special guest with me. My amazing daughter, Annabelle Irelu-Asimi Ogunyomi. Baby, say hi. Say hi. She has said hi. She has said hi. I was just about to shoot and then she started crying. I've been procrastinating. Not procrastinating. Anytime I want to shoot, there's just something that occurs. And now I'm like, I have to do the shoot. I've been trying to shoot a video for the past almost 2 weeks. And for every time I want to shoot, it's either she's waking up or she starts crying or where I want to shoot is unavailable. Because my husband is sleeping from night shift and stuff like that. So you can see now she's sleeping. A moment ago she was crying because she wanted to sleep. And once I drop her, she's going to start crying again. So I'm going to try to shoot for a bit and then drop her if need be. So please stay tuned, bear with me. This particular video is very interesting because my labor and delivery video of how I delivered my 9 pounds 2 ounces baby naturally, unmedicated. So I want you to stay tuned. It's very, very juicy. So I want you to note before we go further that my experiences on my channel are specific to me, peculiar to me. So do not come here and say Adora's experience is standard or I want to have like Adora's experience. Or Adora's experience is different from mine. Why? Everybody's motherhood journey is very different. Everybody's pregnancy is different. I mean, every woman's pregnancy is different. So do not think that your own is going to be the same as mine. I'm just putting that out there, okay? Now, I also have my notes here again today because, like I said, I always want to give you the gist, hit the nail on the head. So first things first, I had my baby in the US, in the United States. You know, I stay in Canada normally. That's my base. But my husband is here in the United States. So I moved. I chose to have my maternity. I chose to take my maternity leave and spend it in the United States. I mean, where else? You know, so I had my baby in the United States, and I'm going to talk about that in another video about my experience here. I loved every experience. I'm still loving it because I'm still experiencing it, right? So let's just jump right into the video. So first off, I want to say the pain that I experienced, I never expected it. My people. Let me first of all start from there, but don't be scared. Don't be scared. So let's jump right into the gist. So I started preparing for my pregnancy from my second trimester. And by that time, I was even still in Canada, right? I came to the US when I was already in my third trimester. So throughout my second trimester, I was in Canada. I was alone there. And I started preparing for the baby. I even like ordered for an online course, started taking it to prepare my mind. And when I knew I was pregnant, I'd already talked to like one of my big sis and she had told me I should be careful with the kind of things I consume. So from the beginning, I was very careful about the kinds of content I was consuming. Now I'm giving you this backstory because it really helped on the day of my delivery. The kinds of people I followed were either Christian nurses or people who were experienced, who would give good testimonies and things like that. I would watch videos. In fact, before I got pregnant, I started watching videos of women having babies naturally and, unmedicated births, especially like water births, because I found it fascinating and just very intriguing. And then when I got pregnant, I stopped. I didn't look at any content. And if I just hear CS, if I hear miscarriage, if I hear anything, maybe baby something, an accident happens to a baby, I don't want to see it. Even if the information will be useful, but I didn't want to see it, I will just click not interested. Thank you, Instagram. So fast forward, during my pregnancy, that mindset had already been there, that my pregnancy was going to be like these ones. Like I didn't want to have any other experience. I didn't want something that would be painful. I didn't want something that would be stressful and things like that. I didn't want to have any bad experience. So I started preparing my mind first. Then moving on, coming to the US, I started attending classes. My hospital had classes for us. There was another program that we are under that had classes for us. So I started taking even classes in Canada, and then by the time I came, I started taking in-person classes, which prepared me. And guys, I got a doula for free. I never knew. In my mind, I'm like, a doula, I would have really loved one, but I cannot afford it too. We can't afford it because doulas cost from like $1,000 upwards. I'm like, kilo day. So on getting here, they were like, you can get a doula for free. I'm like, really? So another of our friends were like, oh, ask for this particular person. Fortunately, she was also giving a class as well, and it was natural birth class. So from that class, I just knew that she was even the right fit for me. She's an advocate for natural births. She's from Australia, has over 30 years experience. So I was very comfortable, very expectant, very happy to have her as my doula. She would check in, tell me to send my any updates from my checkups and things like that. So let's jump right into my labor process. I remember there was a particular night, that was August 29th. I that particular night I started having, before then I started having like pain in my pelvic region and things like that. I already knew, okay, baby was getting ready, waist pain and things like that. And then August 29th, I had been to my doctor's for checkup, and that night I could not sleep. I was experiencing so much. I was having pain in my waist, which was normal. But then at some point, it became so horrible. Like I had to call my husband, like, babe, like what was going on? It was very early in the morning, and I could not explain the pain. And because I had not had my period in almost all year, and I usually would have I have bad cramps during my period, not extreme but bad cramps. So I have had my dose of pain. So I had forgotten what that pain felt like. And then coming to that night, feeling that pain, it was like the speed trial. Oh my god, it was like a trial for me. And my god, I had to tell my husband. I was on the floor. My husband was like, okay, breathe. So we started doing our exercises, breathe. It was like a practice. I started talking to my baby. I said, it's not time to come out. At that time I was 36 weeks. I'm like, it's not time to come out yet. You have to stay, grow, take all the nutrients you want. It's not any time. At the set time, you will come out. And so that was it for that night. It stopped, but waist pain continued. After that, it became pelvic, this pressure around my waist. It was hard to sleep. Sometimes I would sleep sitting up. Sometimes I won't even sleep. There was a particular video I went to. There was a particular night I could not sleep. My husband was sleeping. I went downstairs. I was up till like 9 a.m. I'll talk about that as well when I'm talking about my trimesters and what I experienced. Then I still had my usual Braxton Hicks. After then, even before then, I was having Braxton Hicks. Afterwards, it continued. Fast forward to September 16th, which is the main. If you've been to my Instagram page, you will see me. There was a particular video that I posted that I said, on a Sunday, still had to look nice. That was the Sunday before I had my baby. So fast forward till Monday, September 16th, where the cocoa started. So on Monday, and at the time, my mom had come. So my mom came a week before I had my baby, and because labor had not started, myself and my mom were now regretting it. We're like, I wish, when I was saying, I wish we even waited, to till the week I had my baby before we booked, her ticket for her to come. That this one, that baby has not come. In fact, the day my mom came, she was like, oh yeah, 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 let's start, let's dance, let's do this, let's do that. My mom really wanted the baby to come that week. She made me dance, so she made me dance, she made me exercise. I said, Mommy, I've been exercising since baby will come. She said, no, let's do this, let's do that. So that week the baby did not come, but we used that week to prepare the house. She cooked and things like that. And so on Monday, I remember that day I had a checkup for that day, and I went to my doctor's. I was already having pain, like, but it wasn't regular. Usually they'll tell you 5-1-1 rule. So you have contractions for 1 minute, 5 minutes apart every 1 hour or something like that. So, but mine wasn't regular, and so every time I'll use a timer, sometimes it will abide by the 5-on-1, sometimes it will not. So I'm like, this one is just like false contractions and things like that. And I went for my checkup, and my doctor asked me if I wanted to check how dilated I am. I said yes, of course I want to check. And guys, like when I say be careful about the kinds of content you consume, even the kinds of people you listen to, the people you listen, not the kinds of people, pardon me, the people you listen to. One of my friends, I told her what happened. She said, that's when you get there. That is the whole fist to put inside this other one. Like when she said, I was so scared to check my cervix to know how dilated I was. I love you. I know you watched this video, but I was so scared. So when I got to the hospital that day, I told my doctor, please, that as long as you're not putting your whole fist, she just looked at me and laughed. He said, no, it's just like 1 or 2 fingers. Like they just keep increasing the number of fingers. They don't just fist you at once. I'm like, oh, great. So when she checked, she was like, probably like 2 cm dilated. So I was 2 centimeter dilated by Monday. So I'm at the hospital for my appointment, doctor's appointment, and I also wanted to check my cervix to ensure that I'm dilating, and because I've been feeling contractions as well. So they've checked. I'm currently 2 cm dilated, and right now I'm 39 weeks and 1 day in the US, but in Canada I'm 40 weeks, and due date in Canada is tomorrow. Apparently. So let's hope that the due date is either tomorrow or sometime this week before the weekend. So hoping for the best, fingers crossed. And went home, still continued having slight contractions here and there, very bearable. By Tuesday, it had become more serious, but still bearable. It had become more serious, but still bearable. So, my mom, that Tuesday, like midnight, and we had packed everything. So Tuesday, we packed everything. I'd already packed my hospital bag like weeks before, even before my baby shower here. We had packed a lot of things. So everything was packed, ready, put stuff in the car, went to triage about 12 a.m. ish on Tuesday. Sorry, no, on 12 a.m. Wednesday. So Tuesday we're preparing, packed everything, and it had already entered into Wednesday morning, 12 a.m. So I went to triage because I was feeling like the contractions were progressing instead of the first contractions my doctor thought I had, because in the US here, my due date was September 22nd, but in Canada, my due date was September 17th. And my cousin had already told me, it's the place that they did your anatomy scan or the baby's anatomy and ultrasound, blah, blah, that you should believe your due date, which is September 17th. And we already knew, because there's a prophetic thing, we already got our prophetic word around that date. So, When my doctor said first contractions, I'm like, my husband already said we'll have this baby this week. I told her I'll have the baby this week and I'll come back next week. She said definitely, sure, that kind of, oh, yeah. All right, today is September 18th and it is 12:24. And I'm going to the triage so that they can check how dilated I am. My contractions are coming like every 2 minutes, 40 something seconds, lasting for maybe like 45 seconds. So let's go and see how dilated I am. But I shall packing everything, sure. But my husband does not believe in this work. He says we'll come back home. Let's see, sure. They tell us to come back home, not to come sleep.
Sleep when contractions. Never hold on well.
You say it has to hold me well.
So it's your kind of person. That's why we are looking at. If it's some people, the way so they will be crying, they will be shouting. That's how I see you.
Thank God for strength. But anyway, let's go and check and.
Oh, he doesn't want you to go now. Is that what he said?
He said the way I'm behaving, that I'm not doing this thing, like the way, those the way you say they call it, I'm not doing it. So he said it means you never reach to a certain good level.
Could be having silence.
I don't know, but let's see, Sha, and hope for the best. And so by 12 a.m. on Wednesday, we're at triage at the hospital. So I'm here in triage right now to check how dilated I am, and I hope they don't send me home. That's the hope, because this is 39 weeks and 3 days now. So let's hope they don't send me home, because this thing is hooking me like every 2 minutes, legit. So yeah, that was it. I was having contractions, like the contractions would come and to hook me and then to go to relax for a bit, and so they told me I had to stay in triage for 2 hours. That was what my doctor said. They should leave me there for 2 hours to just monitor. I've been checked. I'm just 2.5 centimeters to 3 centimeters dilated, and I'm having like regular contractions. It keeps coming, and yeah, baby's habit is good, every other thing is good, but like the contractions are very regular. So yeah, so hoping for the best. We're going to call my doctor to know what to do next, and then they're going to check my urine to see if I'm properly hydrated and things like that. But I'll be here for the next 2 hours so that they can see if there's any progress. If not, I think I'm gonna go home. So
Like your husband predicted.
Oh yeah, my husband just wants me to go home. Maybe I just want to go on this shite. So at the end of 2 hours, the nurse came again to check. At the time, the nurse came again to check how dilated I was. And at the time I was already 3.5. She was like I was 3.5 centimeters dilated. Yes, that was at 12 a.m. So she asked me, do you want to stay in the hospital? I'm like, nope, I want to go home. I want to labor at home for as long as I can, because that's what they advise you here. Instead of laboring in a hospital where it's not comfortable, it's better you go home, labor in a comfortable space, and then come back when your contractions are stronger. So that morning, my husband was like, but these contractions are not hooking you enough. My mom was like, that you know your wife, I know my daughter, that she might be feeling a lot of pain, but the way she will express it might be different, and that I might have precipitate labor. My mom is a midwife, by the way, so she said I might be having precipitate labor where like the labor, like I go into labor real quick, so I dilate real quick. Pardon me. So she's like, let it not be that you now have baby inside car. That we should go to the hospital. She was the one that gingered us to go to the hospital that morning. So we came back. By the time I slept and woke up, my contractions had stopped. But I'm like, I said today is September 18th, and we wanted to have a baby either 18th or 19th. In fact, it was 19th. And so I'm like, let's kickstart this contractions again. This baby is coming today. So I'm gonna put short videos here and there to show you my what stuff, how it was like. And then I played music. My mom is an advocate for dance. Me too. My cousin already told me that I should dance. That she danced. Her baby came. I said, okay, no problem. And me, I liked the whole dance thing right from start. Dance, did my pelvic exercises. As I dance, obedient me all about me and my mom. We dance. Then I went to. We have a lake by our house. Went to the lakeside. Exercise, walked, did all my sidewalk steps and stuff like that. Came back, my contractions were now back to back. So when they say 511, my own was like 111, like 1 minute. Like I was having two contractions in one minute. If that makes sense, like I'll have contractions now. In the next 30 seconds, I'm having another contraction again, and I will not be able to rest. That one has not finished. I've not finished recovering from that one. I'm having it again, and so it was like that all day. My mom was like, "Let's go to the hospital." My husband was like, "No, let's wait. That is not hooking me yet." My mom was like, "No, we are leaving this house now." So we packed up again by 8 that day, around 8 past 8. We were on our way to. My husband was even still doing slowly. He went to have his bath and everything. I was like, let's go. So for me, I didn't even wear the gown I wanted to wear to have my baby. I just, because I felt like I'd not dilated so much. Went to the hospital, went into triage, and was there. The thing was bad. Like I was in pain. They came back and they were like, I'm 5 cm dilated. I'm like, okay, that's great. Do you want to send me to hospital? I'm like, yeah. Like, they asked me, I said, when the nurse even came in, I already told her, I said, I want an epidural. Like, I want to go for it. Because I was open minded. It wasn't a do or die affair for me if I didn't have natural birth. But I knew I didn't want to go for CS. So, epidural, no problem. I said, I want epidural. My husband was not cool with it. For me, my mind I don't go say, hey, 5 cm, I'm feeling like this. Ha! Then what would now happen? I say I have 5 cm to go because I have to get to 10 cm. I say, oh my God. All right, now take me to the labor room. And so I got the room opposite the triage, got in there, and the nurse was like, you can actually take pain reliever for pain reliever for now, but it's going to wear off in 6 hours. I'm like, so at the end of 6 hours, I will now start feeling pain, bad pain. No, I don't want. And the reason why I thought like that was because I'd heard people give their experiences of how long they were in labor when they were maybe like 5 cm dilated. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to stay for some hours before I get to 10 cm. Hi there. Pause. Wait, you're still in the video. Don't worry, you're still watching the video. I just want to tell you about my book. Did you know I recently published a book called Be Like Jesus? It's a kids book, it's a coloring book and a reading book. It's faith-based for children, where I teach children about the fruit of the spirit. Now, I use the concept of superheroes in this book, which children absolutely love. I've gotten great reviews from different children. across the globe, and it's been wonderful. You want to get this book for your children. It's available on Amazon and also on Seller, and it comes with a flashcard for sale. Okay, so that is also available on Seller. The link is going to be in my description. You want to get your kids faith-based books to grow their faith in Jesus, and this book is very perfect for them. Okay, let's go back to our video. Now, I asked for an epidural and my husband was not cool with it. I was already in admission. My husband was like, Adora, let's wait for your doula to come. So he quickly calls my doula and tells my doula, we are in the labor room right now. She's asking for an epidural. Please come in quickly, and the nurse is saying she's going to go, and by the time she comes back, I should have made up my mind, because once I get to a certain stage, I cannot get an epidural anymore. So she goes, and coming back, she was going to go get stuff to give me an IV and stuff like that. Then my doula came in, right? My doula came in, but I don't know whether it was before my water broke or after my water broke. So I was in there, my water broke. And it was like warm water that just like a bucket of warm water that just rushed through my body. And they were like, I should stand up from the bed so that they can quickly change the sheets. So I saw that it was green. I didn't even know it was like green and brownish or something. So I didn't know what was going on. So later my mom told me that was meconium, and that was poop, like baby poop in my stomach. And at that point, her heartbeat was, whether it was increasing or reducing or something was going on. It was showing that the baby was in distress. So at the time they had called me cool. That was the neonatal emergency or something like, intensive care unit for babies. They had already called them to come in just in case, right? It had gotten into her lungs and things like that, because the water is meant to be clear. But my own was green. And at that point, my husband told me, my mom went out. My mom told me that she was just praying. She went out. I think she cried or something, because she was very scared, right? She was scared at that moment. And after that, labor progressed real quick. Guys, my doula came in, and in fact, the pain went like this. So they checked, and at some point I'd gotten to 8 cm. I had my baby by 11:20. So all this was happening in the space of between 9:10 and 11:20. So that was about 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes ish. When my water broke, oh, that broke and I threw up. In the midst of that pain, I was like, oh, interesting. And when my water broke, I was like, my water has broken. My water has broken. They were like, it's okay, don't panic. I wasn't panicking. I was just like, my water has broken, like, oh my gosh, kind of. And when I stood up, I was like, interesting, this my water has broken, that everybody talks about. And by the way, your water doesn't need to break first before you go into labor. The water can break later on. Your water can break first, before you even get like that dilated. So let's go back to the story. So at that time, I forgot to even mention, I threw up. So immediately my water broke, and they changed the sheets. I was like, I want to throw up. Or before they even changed they had the opportunity to change the sheets. I was like, I want to throw up. In my mind, I'm like, God, please let this not be first trimester repeating itself when I'm in labor. So they quickly brought the thingy for me to throw up. So I threw up. I was like, I want to throw up again, but it didn't come out. I was breathing, using my breathing exercises. Please, it's so important to have those classes, breathing exercises, pelvic exercises. Like, go for classes that will prepare your mind. Watch videos, do those exercises. They really help me. That's, by the way, we'll talk about that in another video. And so at that time, my doula came, and lights were out. They dimmed the room, which is very important. All the things that I brought to, I was like, my white noise machine, my speaker to play music. I even had my playlist already. I was like, I even had my eucalyptus oil. Fine. I didn't have the opportunity to use anyone. My doula came and she was like, "How am I feeling?" I said, "I feel like pooping, pushing and pooing." That was what I said, and she's like, "That's good. That's good." And I'd already learned a long time ago not to apologize. That it's okay to poo if you want to poo. You know, I already learned all those things. So I wasn't like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm feeling." I'm just like, "This is how I'm feeling," right? At that moment, I had my birth plan. It's important to have your birth plan, and I discussed that with my doctor earlier. And I wanted to give birth on my knees, right, hands on bed with me on my knees. And my doula told me to get in that position. She got me a birth ball. There's an exercise for that, just rocking back on the hospital bed, on the labor bed. And so, in that moment, that position wasn't comfortable for me, even if that's my best position. In fact, even before labor, my one of my best exercises for my pelvic region, pardon me, is that on my knees on my birthing ball, breathing in and just relaxing. I said, I want to get on my back. They said, okay, get on your back. I said, I want to get on my side. No, I said, I want to get on my side first. Okay, so this is how you want breath? I said, no, I just want to get on my side. I said, I want to lie on my back. I said, this is how you want to do? I said, no, this is not what I want to do, but this is what I feel like right now. And so they checked, and I was 8 cm dilated already from 5 to 8, like real quick. My mom was like, So my mom came, just trying to soothe me. In that moment, I didn't want to listen to anybody. When people were like, your husband, your partner should be there encouraging you. My husband wanted to come to do Aspire to Maguire. I said, I just want quiet, right? And so I went back on my knees. I said, I want to go back on my knees. I'm ready. So my doula was telling me, breathe. I was breathing. They were just really telling me you're doing really good. So I was doing really good with my breathing. And it got to a point, the contraction came, like it was like she was coming out already. And I'm like, is it okay for me to push? They were like, yeah, like if you want to go even right now at ACM. But I was fully what do they call it? I can't remember right now as I'm recording this video, but like your cervix has finished shedding, like it's really open, it's ripe, kind of. Effaced, yes. Yeah, I think that's it. I was 100% effaced, but I was still 8 cm dilated. But they were like, it's okay, if I want to push, I should push. So I was trying to push. I will breathe. Like the contraction will come. I'll feel her like coming out. Like it's like a balloon. Like you're squeezing a balloon, and it's called. I don't know if you've seen that video where a woman is squeezing a balloon, and the baby's trying to come out. So it goes back. The baby goes back in and comes back out. So it got to a point they were like, I should, they were teaching me how to like move my back, because I was, anytime everyone was coming out, I would squeeze. Like, no, I should not squeeze, I should just breathe and just let it go. Like you actually want to poop, those hard sheets with it open. So I did that, and my husband said in 4 pushes baby was out. I didn't It got to let me tell you guys, it got to a point I was pushing. They didn't know I was already pushing because I went quiet. I didn't scream, right? I didn't scream. I didn't do that. I didn't cry. I didn't, the pushing, like to push, yes, was there, but that scream that you hear in video, like, I didn't. So mine was very internal, and I'm so glad for the team. Then my doctor, my doula, the nurses, everybody. It was just like hands-on. They were not ready, by the way, because it was real quick. Documents that I was meant to sign before I had my baby, they brought it after, because it was real quick. My doctor was like, my doula just came in, and baby came out. That feeling when she just came out, the blood, everything. And by the way, I used glasses, so I could not see a lot of what was going on, right? And I was on my knees, so I was facing the wall. Everything was going on behind me, so I could not even see some of the things that were happening. by the way. And when baby came out, she was big. They were like, whoa, like this is a big baby, like you did it, and things like that. And I could in that moment, so my mom saw her tongue and it was green. She didn't cry. She didn't cry when she came out at first for like few seconds. My husband was like, but he was confident. He was like, nah, nothing. So they had to spank her. Then she started crying. I was just like, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. My mom was like, hallelujah, glory, glory, glory. That's what we say when stuff happens, when we have a testimony and good stuff. We just say, glory, 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 hallelujah. So we're just celebrating. I started shaking. Because they told me to turn over. They had to tell. They were like, just be careful, and because they wanted to change the sheets because of blood everywhere. They were cleaning me up. They took the baby. They were like, do I want to hold the baby? I said no. That they should give the baby to my husband. It was all in my birth plan that they should give the baby to my husband to do skin to skin. Because I was really shaking, like I was shaking uncontrollably, and they had to do stitches. So they had to do stitches for me. I had second degree tear, which was it wasn't bad, and it was outside, not just very small, the external, and I didn't think I could hold my baby because I was really, really shaking. This child now let me record this video. But I mean there were no complications. It was really like quick, real quick. 11:20 p.m. I thought it would enter the next day, September 19th, but that September 18th she was here, you know. My mom was like, you see, you see, thank God we left at that time. And so this is like 3 hours and some minutes after birth, and baby girl is here. I'm tired, but she needs to be fed. I'm sore. I got tears, but good thing it was outside. So yeah, we've done paperwork and all. Up next is to go to the bigger room where I can rest and all. So yeah, I thank God for grace. All the gist will come later because it came as a rush. Like I moved from triage to labor room, and within an hour I was from 5 cm to, and I didn't wait for 10 cm because my body was ready to push, and
you must get to 10 cm. Your service is faced.
Yeah, service is faced fast. So thank God for grace. She's coming soon. And immediately afterwards, I could not eat. You know, many people will be like, the first meal they will have is what they had been craving for throughout pregnancy. I didn't really have cravings throughout my pregnancy, so there was really nothing I was looking forward to eating after that day. They just brought grape juice for me, and that was what I was just drinking, that grape juice. I mean, that was the major juice I took till I left the hospital. And they ran checks on baby, took her footprints. By the time we checked her weight, they were like 9 pounds, it's 21.5 inches, meaning she's a tall baby, you know. After that, I went to my room, the admission room where I would stay. They also gave me one injection. I didn't even know what whether it was oxytocin or something. I can't remember, but they gave me one injection on my leg. After the stitches were done, I think it was for pain. Yeah, it was pain relief or something. Yeah, can't remember. But then another thing that happened in there, I'll share a video as well. I'll put clips here and there that I made. Went to the admission room, and then had to have my first pee. I had my first pee when I was still in the labor room. Oh my God. Because I'd heard other people's experiences. Be careful who you listen to and what you consume. I heard other people's experiences. Like, first pee, first poo. First pee. It wasn't, because I just had stitches, but it wasn't bad. It was just like a burn. But it wasn't like, it was even the sitting on the toilet seat that was even, I had to like close my leg and maneuver my way. Sha made it. But a lot of bleeding, and the hospital will provide literally everything. I'll talk about that as well when I'm talking about my experience having my baby in the US. Then had that IV in my hand till the next day, which affected me. I really wanted the IV out because it was painful. I don't take injections on my right hand. I don't, for obvious reasons. This is my working hand, and this is the hand he wanted to use because that was the side all the machines were, and this hand was literally useless. When she was born, they ran checks. Pardon me. They ran checks. I forgot to mention. They ran checks on her. Did blood tests. They really did a lot of tests, and they will poke her feet for that. So they did a lot of tests and gave her hepatitis vaccine. That was her first vaccine, and at the time of this video, that has been her only vaccine. Next vaccine will be given next month. Then I didn't have a bath that night. I had my first bath the next day. Why? Reason being, I was tired. I wanted to sleep. And number two, all our stuff was still in the car. When I tell you that there was no time to bring anything that we brought from the car, there was no time. Pillows that we brought, and my bag with my clothes I said I wanted to use, slippers, everything. Nothing. We could not bring out anything from the car because it was, when I say it was real quick, it was real quick. First feeding for her, she was, because babies are made to, God made them in such a way that they have everything they need. So that first feed, they put her on my stomach and she literally just like fell to where she was meant to feed, and that was very intriguing. But she was with her dad for a bit, and then they brought her to me because I was just really shaking. Like, I wasn't cold, I was just shaking. And then I had a sore nipple, which was hard. It frustrated me because the IV was in my hand. I could not hold her properly. Then I now had a sore nipple because that would be the first time she would latch, and I didn't know how to breastfeed, first one, and so I had a sore nipple. And then I'm glad that we had a lactation specialist who came in to help me breastfeed and give me a position that will help me with the IV. But I had to beg, like, they should please take the IV because they removed the bag, but the needle was still inside because they had to run tests, and they needed to know if there was anything that would need, like any new supplement or something before they take out the needle. So my doctor told them that they should take it out. So they took it out in the morning, which was very relieving, and I could properly breastfeed. But that breastfeeding gist is another gist entirely because I was still producing colostrum and she was cluster feeding immediately, and I was frustrated, I won't lie, because she was just eating per second, and it felt like I wasn't producing enough. And the lactation specialist was like, I should hand express. So I would hand express inside the spoon, and they'll be like, it's enough, just that one small spoon, that's how much she can take. And it felt like she wasn't satisfied. But then we'll talk about that, what I did when I got home afterwards, because I started pumping like my third day, because they said wait 2 weeks, let baby get used to breasts. I started pumping my third day. So after that, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. So he said I want to give you juice. Then I had my first meal, which was pepper soup. Trust now, I had my pepper soup with yam, and I'm not really a fan of pepper soup, by the way. So, but I had my first meal.
It's rice and dodo, restaurant style. I don't want to scatter this thing. Make it do what this. Here, there's pineapple. Here, there's stew, like obiata, tomuta. Then, some snails are playing inside too, obstacle kind of things. Alright, but the clinic, they are also gracious enough to prepare pancake and scrambled eggs. What's in this one?
Sausage.
You go chop. Which one you want chop now? Option A or B?
A first.
A first. God bless you, African woman.
In day one, I tried to sleep. They came to test baby. It was still surreal to me, oh, honestly, still surreal to me that I had a baby. Then they came to run tests on her. They took her for hearing hearing sides, blood tests to the nursery and stuff like that. I didn't have an appetite to eat a lot. I just eat here and there, more of liquids. Anyway, so day one was more of resting, them checking in on me to see how the stitches were, and then pressing my stomach. Because they have to press to check to ensure that the uterus is okay and things like that. So they will compress the stomach. It's not, the first one was painful, but the second one, the third, the fourth, because every nurse that comes, they have to check. It was not just comfortable, but it wasn't bad, right? And then feeding that night came. Oh my god, I was so frustrated. Even my mom was frustrated because she could not sleep. In her swaddle, she could not, the swaddles they gave at first were too small, so she would wriggle out of it and start crying. Then they got a bigger one, she would still struggle in there, and then feeding her with a sore nipple. And so they finally gave me a nipple shield. I was finally able to, she was able to eat, but we're not, so it felt like she wasn't getting enough because of her size, right? She's a big baby. And so that was a problem for me, even my mom. And I remember the first day or the second day of getting home, we were just talking to a family friend, and she was like, "Stop pumping, no. Immediately I brought out my pump and pumped, and that night she ate, and it felt like she had not eaten for days. And the way she slept, at least she was able to sleep for 3 hours straight before we woke her up again to feed. So day two was the day I got discharged, because it was 2 days. It was natural birth, and it was all medicated. So I left on day 2. That I could not really sleep, and doctors will come in, come out, they will not allow you sleep. So and every doctor that came in that day, they were asking, how are you okay? There was one that now asked me. I started crying. They're like, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm not okay." So they said why I could not sleep and everything. So my mom said, "Why are you crying?" My husband too was like, "Why are you crying?" They will not think that you have postpartum depression and they will keep you in this hospital longer. Do you want to stay in the hospital for long? I said, "No, I want to go home." They said, "Stop crying." They're not even fashioning. I'm like, I could not control the cry. But after that moment, I felt okay because I knew it was normal. And in the hospital, you start using all the ice pads, and we'll talk about those ones in another video. But anyway, after that, we went home. For the video, got home that day, September 20th. That was when I got home, and it was just surreal. With stitches, I couldn't walk. They had to wheel me out, take me out in a wheelchair. But I just give God praise for that experience. As at the time of recording this video, she's 5 weeks, and it still feels very surreal. But I'm grateful to God for this experience, the grace to be able to give birth, unmedicated, natural. I don't take it for granted. I really do not take it for granted. If you're here to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please ensure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, ensure that you click on the bell button so that you know when I drop new videos. Don't forget to also share with other people, like post it on other platforms, your community and everything. And also share, how was your own pregnancy like? How was your labor and delivery like? Was it quick? Was it slow? How was it like? Please share with me in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.